Greetings, Malifaux fans. This is Crazy Carl back with not a Malifaux video battle report. I'm actually doing a brief tournament report. This is just a brief tournament recap of the Malifaux event that Haggis Mutton, also known as Pat Simpkins, ran on April 20th this past week here at Jupiter Games in Vestal, New York. We had a lot of fun. It was a fixed master 30 soulstone event, so you had the same master the entire day, but you did not have a hiring pool, which I like. The gaining ground rules for I understand the reason why you might have a fixed hiring soulstone pool just to not have somebody carting around a million bajillion models, but it really limits a lot of crews. For a fixed master event, you really can't, I mean you can, but you can't play Kaladi, or I'm sorry, not Kaladi, Leviticus. You just lose out on a lot of things you can do. It's great for masters like, Colette, because she has a very contained crew, but for masters that can use a lot of stuff like Marcus, things like that, it's not good for them. So I'm really a big fan of this type of event. I prefer fixed faction personally. That's just because I have a lot of stuff. If I had only one master, I guess I wouldn't carry the way, but that's just my view on matters. So we ended up having a very low attendance. We only had 4 players. However, we had a really great time. We ended up being able to play round robin. So I meant everybody got to play everybody, which was really cool. And we were playing the new scenarios out of the Gaining Grounds documents. So we had round 1 as shared beatdown, round 2 as shared stake a claim, and then round 3 as shared treasure hunt. So shared treasure hunt is they're all very different, which I really like. Shared beatdown is better than, I feel it's different than Slaughter. I don't know if it's better because it makes the small soulstone models a lot less good. In Slaughter, you lost points for having models that died, but the higher soulstone models were a liability, whereas now they're not as much, but they still sort of are. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, and I don't know. I guess that's that, but it ended up working out fine. And for the game I played against Pat, we were kind of back and forth, which was cool. I liked that, and it changed the pace of the game, because the whole run up and kill everything on turn 1 doesn't really, it's not something that happens much anyway. But it meant it wasn't an issue because points don't start getting scored until turn 2. So I thought that was really neat. And it really makes each turn matter, which I like a lot. I mean, you can't just have one big turn, kill off their entire crew, kill off a bunch of models, and then not do anything for the rest of the game. You need to kind of space it out. I mean, if you wipe out their crew, that's great, you get points. But if you don't wipe out their crew and they have one little Night Terror floating around, then you can be denied a lot of points that way, which I think is really cool. Really changes the pace of the game. Round 2 with the shared land grab again was really cool. Dennis and I had a really great game, and it really the mechanics of scoring points each turn after the first turn was really interesting, because it meant that you have a little bit of time to set up and get some positioning in place, and then you get your points gradually. I mean, it makes the game less, I don't know if it makes it less swingy. I guess it's less swingy, yeah. And there's more of a chance to kind of climb your way back. If you get dominated on one turn, then you can try and fight your way back for the next couple turns, and it's really cool. It also meant, in the games we played anyway, it meant that the schemes were really important, because we ended up I don't think anybody maxed out on their scores for any of the strategies. So it was really cool, because it meant schemes are a lot more important, which I like a lot, because schemes are a great mechanic in the game. And then in round 3 we had shared beatdown, or not shared beatdown, shared treasure hunt, which again I like treasure hunt. I think it's a great scenario. The problem was that you could just grab the treasure on turn 1 with like Colette and then be set for the rest of the game. You could just kind of sit there and you'd be good to go. But now it's a little bit, I mean, the problem still exists that she can grab it and then run away with it, but you now have more of a chance to catch up and try and get it, whereas, I mean, I guess it's about the same as it was before, but for other crews, it can kind of go back and forth, and it means if a model's engaged, which happens sometimes, because oftentimes what I would do is I'd just have Colette, have somebody grab the treasure and then pass it off to Colette, and then Colette would just sit there and not die for the rest of the game, which was fine. But now you don't score the points if something's engaged, and sometimes, things would be engaged with Colette, but, she'd still be scoring the points. Now she doesn't, which I think was really cool. So the format of the event was we made a donation to Chow, which is basically a food pantry here in Binghamton, and then we also donated food. And for each item of food you donated, you got a special in-game bonus. So there are 4 bonuses. The first of which was you get 1 additional soulstone, and increases your soulstone cap. So instead of having 8 soulstones, you have 9. I took advantage of that. I only had, I think, 6 cans of food because I didn't have time to go to the grocery store beforehand. So I had to raid my fridge and grab stuff out and go from there. So I ended up getting the extra soulstone. The next one was +1 to your hand size, which is really, really good. And they decided on the day of the event to change that to, you have to buy all the other advantages before you can get that. My plan with what I had was to get the +1 soulstone and then the +1 hand size, but ended up not working out that way for me, so I ended up not getting that. So there was +1 soulstone, +1 hand size. There was also a 1-use item not item, just you basically had a token which you could just tear up and when you used it. That gave you +2 to the numerical value of one of your initiative flips, which ended up being really important in one of the games I played, and then the other games was kind of irrelevant. And that one I took as well. I took that in addition to the extra soulstone. And then the last bonus you could get was a one-use, add one suit to a minion of your choice, not a master or henchman. I don't know if there was a stipulation for henchmen's as well. I know you can use it for a master, so I think it was on a minion, which is cool. I don't think it's super relevant often. I guess it makes the lawyer really good, because you can guarantee the suits for the lawyer, but that's about it. I don't think anybody really had made any use of that. It might have been nice if somebody had like flay models, but nobody was playing the twins or anything like that, so it ended up not being an issue. So very cool. We had some good bonuses. The extra soulstone was pretty key. I was really nice. It was really nice having the extra soulstone. Gave people a little bit of flexibility as well in case they wanted to hire a few more models. I just went for the max soulstone cache each game because 9 soulstones is awesome. It's almost like playing a brawl. And the +2 to the initiative was pretty relevant. I did have that come up once or twice. Used it to gain initiative. I lost initiative to it once, so it was pretty cool. The extra hand size, I think only Pat used that against me. Oh no, Dennis had it as well, and that was pretty cool. I didn't really notice it in game, but it felt like they had really full hands compared to mine. It's because they had an extra, basically Arcane Reservoir. For what it's worth, that bonus did stack with Arcane Reservoir. So you had Arcane Reservoir sitting in your crew. You could go up to hand size of 8, which is really cool. And I guess if you were playing like Lilith or Misaki with Shang, you could draw 9 and then discard 1, which would be really good. But that ended up not being the case. I don't think nobody played Misaki or Lilith, so that wasn't a thing. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you guys a quick overview of the event and some photos to look at while I was doing so. I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, I'll try and do this for other events I do in the future. I don't often have a chance to take photos and take the notes that I like to take on games when I'm playing in a tournament, which isn't very often. But when I do, we're usually pretty pressed for time. I need to start asking tournament organizers if I can just have like an extra 15 minutes in my games, which is about an hour over the course of the event. But I feel it's a benefit to the community. It's not. I'm not making money on this. This is just for people to watch and enjoy and learn about events. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed this rundown of our event. I'll actually be running a story encounter event on the 18th of May. It's going to be original story encounter that I wrote up myself. I need to start playtesting it soon so that I can get the player pack written up and printed out. But if any of you in YouTube land can make it up to Binghamton, New York on May 18th, by all means do so. That'd be great. I may maybe include a special extra prize if people are coming from a long distance. I don't really have a prize box per se. I'm not Bill from the Gamers Lounge, but I think I'm going to start wrestling some stuff together. I'm going to try and run some more events and use my henchman rewards to basically build up a bit of a prize cache for people to work with. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy the individual game reports that I have coming up. So I'll see you soon, and enjoy.